Look, up in the sky. It's Alfred Hitchcock's The Birds. It's snakes on a plane. No, it's superhero horror on this episode of Attack of the Killer Podcast.
Attention planet Earth and beyond. Stay tuned for Attack of the Killer Podcast. 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 Yay!
What?
Good evening, citizens, and welcome to the world's greatest heroes. Wait, that's not true. Let me try again. Welcome to the world's greatest horror movie experts. Wait, that's not true either. Welcome to the world's just so-so horror fans. It's Attack of the Killer Podcast League. This is episode 359, and we're going to save the day by discussing superhero horror movies. This ain't your dad's Superman. These heroes spill blood, rip jaws off, fight alien-human hybrid monsters, and destroy vampires. Now, if this is the first time ever listening to the show, Attack of the Killer Podcast is a collection of Earth's mightiest podcasters who fight the good fight to discuss horror movies. We use our amazing powers to discuss films within a specific topic. Sometimes we don't know our own strength, so there may be spoilers. It takes a lot of gas in the Insane Mobile, and we sew a lot of holes in Jason's cape. So we are asking you to join our super-powered Patreon. And when you do, you become a member of our superhero organization, the Legion of Super Attackers. As an attacker, you gain access to the secrets of the Hall of Podcasts. You can get our YouTube shows, original art called Mikey's Monsters, your own membership card and certificate, and even our bonus episodes. On our next bonus episode, next week, we will be talking about the best couples in horror movies. Who could that be? You're going to have to become an attacker and find out. You'll gain so many new abilities on the level of the gods by getting to be part of our exclusive chat called Attack of the Killer Chat, and or pick movies for our watch parties and Patreon Picks episodes. You don't have to get bit by a radioactive spider to gain all these abilities. Just go to jointheattackers.com, pick the power set you want, and become an attacker today. Speaking of which, it's time for the Attackers Roll Call.
Timothy Lenner, Roman Doppelfeld, Larry Watanabe, Brett J. Royer, Jessica Irish, Chris Cook, Brian Godsell, Stefan Sitter, Brandy Moore, Andrew Mahler, Rodney Dean Hutchinson Jr., Carmen DeHague, Abraham Ariano, Andrew Bentler, Casey Kellerman, Tony Miller, Mike Clayton, Rose Talashoma, Abe Kirshner, Lisa Cavalier, Holly Berg, Bill Fisher, Greg Dedrick, Sam Lenz, Garth Jacobson, Brett White, Tiffany DeWeese, Scott Reebsman, Chris Collins, and Jacob McLaughlin. I just about tripped over my dick on that one.
That's his superpower. You too could be on that list. Just go to jointheattackers.com. And now, gathered together from the cosmic reaches of the universe, here is the great Hall of Podcasters, are the most powerful forces of good ever assembled, the podcast crew. His superpower is to wrap up his villains in aluminum. He always foils their plans. Tad.
Hey, good one.
He was bitten by a radioactive lawyer. Now he has the power of attorney. Brian.
Shazam! Oh, I did that wrong. I mean, Shazam!
He made his super suit out of a vacuum cleaner. His powers really suck. Jason.
Hey, thanks everybody for listening. I appreciate you being here. Oh my goodness.
All right. So I bet you're wondering, what else have we been watching besides movies for this show? Let's find out. Let's turn it over to Tad and find out what we watched.
Well, it's officially award season, so I'm betting that Mr. Brian Clark has been watching all of the nominees. Brian, what have you watched?
Well, didn't Begonia get nominated for something?
It did. Several.
Yeah, because I actually did watch that, and I really, really liked it. I still need to see Save the Green Planet, but yeah, man, I was the whole time I was like, oh, I hope this goes where I think it's going to go. And then it did, and that made me happy. And it was like a nice little bit of silliness after all of the really dour stuff and, you know, a couple of really brutal, gory moments. But I think, like, as great as all the performances were and all that kind of stuff, I think my favorite part about it and what really lifted it up even higher for me was the score. Like, I can't remember the last time I watched a movie and was like, holy shit, this score fucking rules. But probably Sinners, actually, now that I think about it. How about After Hours? You guys seen that one? Scorsese movie. I've been trying to watch more of his stuff since I had only seen a few of his up until a year or two ago. I decided I should start watching more of those. And
Love
man,
After Hours.
I think Griffin Dunn, as far as the characters he plays, his character in American Werewolf had a better time than his character in After Hours. And to go through all of that shit and then just immediately have to go back to work the next day, which it was the most realistic and depressing part of the whole thing. But man, what a cast. You know, you got Terry Garr in there, Catherine O'Hara, Bronson Pinchot in a very early and very small role.
Cheech and Chong show up.
Yeah, Cheech and Chong are like one of the. You think they're just going to be like a one-off joke, and then they turn out to be like a driving force of the plot. that was quite the movie. The new Silent Night, Deadly Night, that's pretty good.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
I haven't seen it yet.
It's on Hoopla if you want to check it out for free.
Okay.
They basically turned Billy into Dexter.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But so, I mean, that was because I guess, you know, there's only so many ways you can just do a straight remake of it. It's like, okay, it's the same fucking thing. We've seen this before. So I appreciate that they did something different with it and that it actually worked. And of course, the scene where he murders all the Nazis was a delightful little bit of catharsis.
So good.
Was it the 31st, I think? A couple of weeks ago, it was National Ape Suit Day.
Oh, how did I
Oh,
miss
we
that?
missed it.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was the 31st. And so I busted out a Blu-ray that I've had on my shelf for a while and haven't got around to watching yet. A movie from the 30s called Ingagi, which
nice.
pretends to be a sort of travelogue documentary about darkest Africa, but really it's just a super racist string of stock footage with the occasional addition of a gorilla suit. And oh boy, yeah, that one's something special. Speaking of things that were racist and had a slightly more level-headed reboot, The Legend of Tarzan.
Okay.
The one with Alexander Skarsgård that came out about 10 years ago. It was one of those things I always meant to, like, I wanted to see it when it came out. I didn't get to see it in the theater, and then I just kind of forgot about it. And saw it popped up streaming somewhere a week or two ago. So like, oh, let's throw this on. I want to check that out. And it's interesting. It's not an exact, like a one-to-one, we're just going to film this particular Tarzan novel. Like, it's kind of its own original story where he's fighting Dutch slave traders in the Congo, which, and so that part of it's real. Because, like, yeah, if you want to get real depressed sometime, look up the history of Dutch colonialism in the Congo. It's awful. But it was really neat that they added in a lot of stuff from the books that I don't think I've ever seen in another filmed adaptation, be it, you know, a TV episode or one of the old movies or whatever. That, like, they bring up the gorillas that he's hanging out with aren't actually gorillas. They're called Mangani, and they're a different species, and they're a little more highly evolved and have their own speech and stuff like that. Jane gets to kick some ass, which I feel like kind of gets overlooked a lot in filmed versions of Tarzan. Because in the books, she's not, it's like some fainting violet. She's a pretty handy outdoors woman herself. And there's some other neat little things. And Samuel Jackson's in it, being Samuel Jackson, so that's great. But and I remember, like, when it came out, it really got shit on. Like, I remember just everybody dogged on it and said how awful it was, and I don't get it. I thought it was good. I mean, it's not going to be anybody's favorite movie by any means, but as far as filmed adaptations of Tarzan goes, it's pretty solid. And then we went to the theater to see Iron Lung.
Nice.
I was really excited about this one. And so I may have had my expectations dialed up a little too high. But I think it's a little too long. It's like a touch over 2 hours, and I think you could have made it 90 minutes easy. There's, it's all isolation stuff. It's just Markiplier stuck in a metal tank the whole time.
Yeah.
With, like at one point you see somebody else out his porthole and he talks to them, and then he gets dunked into this ocean of blood on this weird planet, and they're trying to find some kind of artifact. And the only way he can see outside is by firing this X-ray camera, because he's in an ocean of blood. You can't just see through blood, so they have to use X-rays to examine the floor of this ocean. And so you get these flashes of these weird, horrible things that are outside menacing him. So there's some good atmosphere to it, but I felt like it relied a little too much on expecting people to know the game and have watched his playthrough of it, because I guess that was one of like his things that really blew him up on YouTube, or one of his more famous bits anyway, is playing this game. And so like I think it's awesome that he got to make this all his own way, because he self-funded it, because he's fucking YouTube rich. His performance is good, like all the technical aspects of it are good. I just think he needed somebody else helping him with the script, because it really came off as like, okay, he already knows everything about the world of this game, and so he's just assuming that everyone in the audience does too. And I don't need my hand held every inch of the way. I've said that plenty of times, that I like movies that let you put some things together, but there's not really enough given in as far as the story goes for you to fully put together what the fuck is supposed to be happening. So it's more about vibes than story, and in that case, like I said, I think it should have been a little shorter, but still, a decent movie overall. It's not going to make my end of the year list or anything, but I'm glad I went to see it, and I got to go see it with my daughter Isabella, who we watched pretty much all the Unis Honest stuff that he and Ethan, I can't remember the other guy's last name now, but anyway, so it was kind of a nice little coda to that year-long father and daughter thing of watching all the Unis Honest videos together. We went and got tattoos of one of their logos at the end of last year, so yeah. So see, you didn't have to be all worried about it. I didn't have anything real fucked up and weird to talk about this time. That's all fairly straightforward.
Man, I'm kind of bummed, actually.
I know. All right. Jason, how about you?
Guys, I did it.
You watched something.
I finally watched some stuff. Took a minute. First, oh my gosh, you guys got to see this so bad if you haven't yet. Anaconda.
I was just going to. It's on my list.
Yeah.
Dudes, it's so freaking good.
I hated it.
No, you didn't.
I really did.
Really? Oh.
I was so let down. Me and Nikki
What
were so
you
bored.
expecting?
Bored?
Funny.
Bored?
Jokes. Yeah.
Oh. Okay. Well, hey, I loved it. Jack Black, Paul Rudd, Steve Zahn. I thought it was awesome. I always have a soft spot for Steve Zahn's kind of humor with his little awkwardy, not confident speech. He's so funny. And I liked the storyline, too. I mean, what got them there, and then how it wasn't. Huh?
Yeah. And then how it unfolds, yeah.
How it unfolds, how it actually might actually be a Anaconda sequel officially. But how the originals played in and stuff, I don't know. I loved it. Thought it was awesome. Then we watched Fly Me to the Moon. I believe this is on Apple TV. It stars ScarJo and Channing Tatum, and Woody Harrelson's in it, Ray Romano, Andy Garcia. It's basically the race to the moon that last couple years, and Scarlett is assigned to be the public image, fix the public image, and Channing Tatum is like the head of the NASA launch stuff, and so they bat heads. Do they like each other? It's crazy. It's not that they toy with the history, but they definitely do things in there about the fake video of the moon landing, of having to film it, or on Earth. And anyway, it was super funny. I thought it was funny. Tiff didn't think it was that funny, but I thought it was funny and nice romantic stuff too. And it was good. It was on Apple TV, so can't be too bad. And then lastly, we got to go to the theater even and saw Send Help.
I want to see that.
Oh,
so
yeah,
bad.
I saw that too. I forgot to put that on my list.
Rachel McAdams being just amazing. And,
How was she basically not aged since Mean Girls?
right? Gosh dang. She's so great in this movie. Her arc, her character goes a lot of places, and she has a lot of range in this movie, obviously. And Sam Raimi's back directing. There's definitely some awesome Sam Raimi-ness in the movie. You know,
What was your favorite of the, like, oh, that's a Raimi moment?
well, the one I thought was the most was when the body popped out and did a behind her and did like a quick zoom in on it. But there were some.
Oh, right, when it's like she's like dreaming or something, right? When
Yeah.
it's
I mean, the boar stuff was pretty bloody. There's
the spraying of the blood and the snot.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
gross. And then
My
there's
favorite
running through
was-
the jungle point of view.
Oh,
Kind
now
of
I've got
stuff, too.
Creedence Clearwater stuck in my head.
Oh.
Mine was the guy knocking on the airplane window.
Oh fuck, man, it's so funny. Such
I
dark.
was cackling like a lunatic in the theater.
Oh, so and then her response is probably even funnier.
Yeah, well, yeah, that's what really made it.
Hey, well, you'll know what that is when you guys go see it. Totally recommend Send Help. It's in the theaters. Not really. It's leaving probably, but
Oh man,
hey, that's what I watched. I watched stuff. I did it.
good for you.
All right, Mike. How about you?
Well, I feel like I'm kind of Jason in this moment because I haven't watched much. I actually had to dust off a few things that I haven't talked about on what we watched. And it feels like I must be in a documentary mood because I watched RoboDoc from 2023.
Oh, I've been wanting to check that out.
Oh,
That's
so
one.
good.
That one's like really long though, right? It's one
Yeah,
of
it's-
those like 5 or 6 hour
It's
long
well,
ones.
yeah, it's cut up into episodes.
No
yeah.
wonder you didn't
Oh,
watch
okay.
anything else.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding.
Yeah, and being a huge RoboCop fan, it's like one of my all-time favorite movies. And
Oh,
if
fuck
you
yeah.
if you consider it an action movie, it's hands down my favorite action movie. If it's a science fiction movie, it's hands down my favorite science fiction movie. Whatever class you want to put it in. And I've watched it 1,000 times. I watched commentary tracks and stuff, and there's still stuff I've learned watching this doc. Like I didn't realize that the one gang member, the one you probably see the least amount of, was the ancient Chinese secret guy from the Calgon commercials.
Really?
Yeah, that was probably the most jaw-dropping moment for me in this doc. Anyway, it's really good. If you even like RoboCop a little bit, I highly recommend checking it out. It puts.
And if you only like RoboCop a little bit, what the fuck is wrong with you?
This is true. This is true. It puts that episode of movies that made us to shame. So
Okay.
it's a really good doc. Another doc that I just watched, Art Spiegelman, Disaster is My Muse, from 2024. It's the life and work of Pulitzer Prize winning cartoonist Art Spiegelman. He's probably most commonly known for his comic that he did that won him a Pulitzer Prize called Mouse, which is his father's experiences and stories living in a Nazi prison camp during World War II, and all the characters, all the Jews are represented as humanoid mice, and the Nazis are like humanoid cats. Really awesome book, and he also is one of the creators of Garbage Pail Kids, so he's got quite the career. He did a lot of
No shit.
yeah,
I didn't know that.
Yep. He had worked for Topps tops cards like from the 60s all the way to the 80s. It was like his one steady gig while he could go do other stuff like all the underground comics he did in the 60s and stuff like that. So, you know, he's got quite the career. He did a lot of New Yorker covers. He worked for the New Yorker for a while and did a lot of covers, and some of his covers were rather controversial for the New Yorker. Very cool guy, very an artist that I admire a lot, and it was really cool. It was a lot of interviews with him and him talking about you know, his upbringing and stuff like that, and it's good. Definitely check it out. And then the last thing I'll bring up real quick, Brandy and I were bored one night hanging out, and we're going through her DVD collection, and we pulled out Roller Boogie from 1979 to watch. The Linda Blair roller skating disco movie. It's freaking awesome. So it's so bad.
What a weird, short-lived little subgenre, like, you know, roller skate movies.
Yeah.
There's what's the one with Raquel Welch? It's not a disco one. It's like a roller derby one. But anyway, that one sucks too. That's probably why I can't
fucking
remember
love
the name.
Xanadu, dude.
Oh yeah. Through the whole movie, Brandy's like, yeah, they did something like that in Xanadu. She's just like constantly bringing up Xanadu through the whole thing. It's actually directed. It's such a mess of a script. If you were to cut out all the roller skating dance numbers, the movie would be like 20 minutes long. And it just goes from point A to point B in split seconds because you got to get to that next roller skating dance number. But it's directed by Mark Lester, of all people. He did Class of 1984 and Class of 1999, did Commando, the original Firestarter. He's done good movies, so it was interesting that he did Roller Boogie. It's a fun watch, though. It's hilarious if you if you miss the old days of roller skating rinks, like I do, it's definitely worth a watch. Anyway, that's what I watched.
All right.
But Tad, what did you watch?
Well, I want to go back to what I said earlier with Jason. I did not absolutely
Keep right
hate
on.
and I did not really hate Anaconda. I just really wanted it to be like it has all the ingredients to be so good, and it just didn't. Like it was like quiet in the room, and I really wanted to laugh. I like literally, we went downstairs and turned on the TV. Excuse me, with the intention of like as you guys know, it's Oscar season. I have a lot of Oscar movies to watch for first time, and I was just not. I was like, God, man, I just need to like turn off my brain and not because every Oscar movie's deeply that I haven't seen so far is deeply depressing and dark and dramatic, and I'm like, oh, Anaconda's streaming now. Like, I want to watch that, and I did, and man, I love everybody involved. Steve Zahn, I love Paul Rudd, Jack Black, everybody, and I just did not. I mean, I love that it's a movie about making movies. Everything about it should just be a home run, and it just didn't do it for me. I wanted to so bad love it, and I just was like, yeah, it was just okay. I don't know what it was. I don't know if it was my mood. I don't think so, because I went in wanting to laugh, and I didn't. If I watched it when I was in a bad mood, it'd be different, but didn't love it. But one I did watch that I loved was Caught Stealing. Has anyone else seen this?
Nope.
I don't think so.
Darren Aronofsky's new movie
Oh
shit.
no.
with Austin Butler and Zoe Kravitz and Matt Smith, Doctor Who reference. This movie rules. I didn't know Darren Aronofsky could make a fun movie.
Oh, wait, this is the one where Matt Smith's a punk guy, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
I've
we
seen the
watched
trailers.
that. Yeah. That was really good.
Yeah, I loved it. That was way more fun than Anaconda. But yeah, this is a fun like shoot 'em up like crime drama comedy. I thought it was a blast. Austin Butler is no longer Elvis, which is great. I was afraid he was just going to get stuck in that mode forever. But basically, Austin Butler's in the wrong place at the wrong time with the wrong neighbor, and he's got to protect his neighbor's cat, who is played by Matt Smith, who's a next door neighbor punk who's gotten himself into some deep shit, and shit keeps getting deeper and deeper, but it's really funny. I loved it. It's on Netflix now. I highly recommend it. I never thought Darren could do something like this, and it's set in New York in the 90s. It's awesome. Check it out. Like I said, I watched Anaconda, of course. House on Haunted Hill and The Innkeepers was the Joe Bob haunted house double feature, which was a lot of fun. Seen them
One
both.
perfect movie and one really fucking good movie.
Yeah, I've seen them both several times. Love them both, so won't talk too much about those. And outside of that, been watching mostly TV, so that's what I watched.
All right, there you have it, folks. That's what we watched. That's not all we watched. We watched some sweet, kick-ass superhero horror movies. Jason, you want to start us off?
Hell, heck yeah, I do. You know I'd love to do that. And I will do that by introducing the movie from 1998. It's Blade.
You better wake up. The world you live in is just a sugar-coated topping. There is another world beneath it. The real world.
For thousands of years, they have existed among us.
You keep your eyes open. They're everywhere. Chances are you've seen them yourself and didn't know it.
A secret nation
Our livelihood depends on our ability to blend in.
with a lust for power.
We should be ruling the humans. These people are our food.
They've got their claws into everything. Politics, finance, real estate.
There's a war going on out there. He makes the weapons. I use them.
Now, one will lead them to conquer mankind,
Tonight, the age of man comes to an end.
We're gonna be gods.
and one will try to stop him dead.
There are worse things out tonight than vampires.
Like what?
Like me.
Half human,
Blade's mother was attacked by a vampire while she was pregnant.
half immortal.
You got the best of both worlds. All our strengths, none of our weaknesses.
He is their greatest fear and our only hope.
It's open season on all vampires.
Wesley Snipes, Stephen Dorff,
You're one of them, aren't you?
No, I'm something else.
Blade.
How can you be half immortal? Like either you're immortal or you're not immortal. When Blade hit theaters in 1998, superhero movies weren't the cultural juggernaut that they are now, and that's part of what makes this film so special. Blade felt bold, confident, and aimed squarely at adults, blending horror, action, and comic book storytelling without a hint of camp. The story follows Blade, a half-vampire daywalker, as he hunts the creatures of the night while uncovering a vampire conspiracy led by Deacon Frost that threatens to turn humans into cattle. It took a relatively obscure Marvel character and pushed him in a darker, sharper, and honestly better direction than the comics had at the time, creating something that felt completely new. With Wesley Snipes owning the role and setting the tone, Blade helped pave the way for modern superhero cinema while standing on its own as a stylish, brutal, and influential genre classic. I like this movie.
It's good.
Yeah, I think it's great.
If you want some more insight on just how obscure this character was, Blade's first comic book appearance was in Tomb of Dracula number 10 in 1973. He appeared in a total of 16 issues of the Tomb of Dracula series, which his last appearance in that series was in 1977, and rarely ever seen since in comics until this movie.
Yep.
You know, everybody, gushes over Guardians of the Galaxy. It's like, oh, bringing these these characters that nobody knows, making them household names.
There weren't much more obscure than this.
Yeah, and to not only that, but being like the superhero movie to launch the next.
Marvel Studios wasn't the first MCU, but it was the first movie produced and licensed by Marvel Studios. So that's pretty cool too.
And to be that character of all things.
Yeah.
So.
And was this outside of this was probably the first like big budget like action comic book movie that was rated R since the Dolph Lundgren Punisher, wasn't it? I mean, surely there were some like more obscure underground ones, but I mean, as far as like
much back then.
wide release, that was a big gamble at the time.
Yeah, rated R, and like and if you're comparing it to Dolph Lundgren's The Punisher, it would, I mean, budget wise and distribution wise, was way beyond that even.
Man, I remember.
But I mean, as far as adapting a character that wasn't from an underground comic, that it was like from one of the big two.
Yeah,
it was a pretty wild swing and really successful, and would have made the career of Stephen Norrington, the director, had he not been handed the League of Extraordinary Gentlemen after this. Poor fucker. He started out. Well, he was a special effects guy first, but he started out directing with one of my favorite, like obscure sci-fi horror movies, Death Machine, with Brad Dourif.
Nice.
He got to do some screenplay writing for Batman and stuff too later, and he's been around and in it. But man, I remember way back in the day, maybe not before this, but like you, biggest comic book nerd fan that I know, just sitting around on his couch reading comics, just like, man, I wish there were like live action movies about comic book people. And into the world we live in now, would you ever have guessed?
No.
In a million years.
No, that's why, like, even when it's not the greatest movie or my favorite or a decent representation of said character, I always have to take that step back, and it's like, don't take it for granted, man. Don't take what you're seeing up there for granted, because there was a time where, your mind little high school mind would have exploded seeing Cyborg and the Flash and Aquaman up on the big screen.
Yep.
Anyway, but we're not talking about that. We're not talking about Justice League. We're talking about Blade. I would have to say one more thing, and I keep cutting you off. And I only bring it up just because it was relevant to your little intro there. But my one thing that Blade did bad was it started the trend of superhero movies dressed all in leather. Okay, now I'm done.
It did, but man, but then in '98, it was everything. And when he's revealed there at that party, just standing there all badass.
Oh, he's like, badass looking, yeah.
It became a trend because he did it really well, I think.
He made it cool.
Yep.
Yeah, it's funny. I also saw that Lawrence Fishburne was up for the part, and then just a year later, he was in The Matrix.
He got his black
sunglasses and trench coat thing too.
I don't think he would have been as good. Like, it's one of those things where I have a hard time seeing. Mahershala Ali was a good one, because wasn't he going to be in the
new Marvel one?
Yeah, but didn't they wind up scrapping that?
Pretty much.
Or are they still making it? Yeah, which is a damn shame, because he's a phenomenal actor, and he would have been a great success. But honestly, other than him, I can't think of anyone else other than Wesley Snipes who can, they have a similar vibe, I guess. I'm probably also thinking of Mahershala a little bit as the villain from the first half of the first season of Luke Cage. So he's got, some of the Marvel comic book character cred there already. But man, Snipes is just so fucking cool in that role.
Yeah,
it's just really hard to picture anybody but him playing that, because it's so perfect. It's like, who else could be Professor X but Patrick Stewart, and who else could be Blade but Wesley Snipes? To the point where now when Blade shows up in the comics, they draw him to look like Wesley Snipes, just they do with Nick Fury and Sam Jackson, because it's just such a perfect portrayal of that character.
And I think I saw that it was actually Wesley, and thankfully for him getting cast in the role, that he helped push the film to be more action-packed,
and less comedy.
Less comedy, more Asian-style action.
Yeah, he loved the old kung fu movies, and was like, I want the action to be like this.
I'm like, thank goodness for it.
Yeah.
him.
Because that's the best way to do action.
And I it's funny, like I did not see this in theaters. I think I saw it for the first time looking at Letterboxd a few years ago, and then I was like, oh shit, like I had to go back and see if we did it on an episode. And I looked and I matched up the date. I watched it on Letterboxd and we did not. So I don't know why I watched it.
Because it's cool.
It's pretty
or
cool.
because you need to watch this one in order to get to the second one, which is far superior.
Is the best.
You're going through that leather phase, you know, it could have been that.
Yeah, that was like probably like the early 2000s for me. So maybe a few years after this. But in looking in 1998, the time everything was working really against it, it still stands pretty damn good. You know what I mean? Like, if this would have fallen to that fate of what the producers probably wanted to do, or more trends of that time, like, and it didn't have Wesley Snipes, it probably would just be another, like, there's a lot of really cringe superhero movies from around this time that do not hold up anymore.
A lot, yeah.
And this one still does. This movie's still a lot of fun, and that opening scene is so badass. Some of the CGI pretty bad, but it's forgiven for the time.
Oh, for sure.
And I still think, like being rated R enough, it just is badass. And I am sad that we don't have a new one, because I think, you know, with modern technology and writing and everything, it'd be cool to have him back, but also sort of like happy that we just have this for now. And it's sort of crazy to think that they got so far in the Marvel Blade that they had costumes already made, and then the movie didn't happen, and so they bought them for Sinners, and now Sinners is up for an Oscar for best costumes for the costumes they bought from Blade.
Which
how weird.
Suggests, so was the Marvel one going to be a period piece?
Apparently, yeah.
Would have to be, because otherwise, yeah. And if nothing else, what we really got from this movie at the end of the day was Wesley Snipes' cameo at the end of the first season of What We Do in the Shadows.
Yes. Paul Rubens, and so many classics.
Yeah.
Well, it's I don't have this in the trivia, but I think it also said that, like, how he ended up with this role was that he really, really wanted to play Black Panther, and they were like, we're not ready to make a Black Panther movie, but we are making a Blade movie, and he's like, fuck it, I'll do that. And
he wanted to do that Black Panther movie forever. It's such a bummer that it never. By the time it finally came around, he aged out of it. Had a little bit of money troubles.
Yep.
A little bit blacklisted. I don't know. I forgot what I was going to say. Go ahead.
Was it something about Jefferson Twilight, the Blackula hunter from Venture Brothers, who was also clearly inspired by this character?
No, I need to watch more Venture Brothers. I haven't seen that character.
Oh, really? Oh,
Yeah.
I figured you would have watched all of Venture
I
Brothers.
know.
Yeah, that's...
I don't know why. I've never pulled the trigger all the way.
Oh, yeah, there's like a secondary character who pops up every once in a while who is like a blaxploitation kung fu guy who hunts vampires, but he only hunts Blackula vampires.
Was this also maybe the time where everybody wanted, like, creepy German guy, and then everybody started hiring Udo Kier again?
Yeah.
It was towards the beginning of that, because I remember seeing this in the theater and being all excited, like, "Oh, holy shit, it's Udo Kier!" And everyone else is like, "What? Who are you talking about?"
And then he did so much stuff after this, so it's another thing, another good thing that happened because of Blade.
Played the same guy every time, but hey, he played it
yeah.
well.
Yeah.
I thought he was great in Deadpool and Wolverine. Just seeing him come back.
Oh, seeing Wes.
Seeing him come back.
Yeah.
I thought you meant Udo Kier. I'm like,
oh no, Blade.
What version of Deadpool was Udo Kier?
Creepy German Deadpool.
It's like they
Deadpool.
They still had fun with it, but I felt like also treated it.
It
with
took
some
him
respect.
more serious. Than
like he was still cool. They weren't just mocking him the whole time.
Unlike Channing Tatum's Gambit.
Gambit got mocked, I felt. A little bit.
Or Chris Evans back as Human Torch.
Yes.
Oh, okay. I know we're way
it's
off
so
topic,
funny.
but that reveal,
Oh.
because like, okay, being the comic book nerd, and there was an Alex Ross comic that was like a dystopian future Marvel world called Earth X, and the Captain American that was like this old beat up guy with like these like green like robes over top of him. You couldn't really see his face. And then so when you first see Chris Evans there, and Deadpool's all excited because it's Chris Evans, he's wearing those green. The roby things he's wearing is green, and I'm thinking, oh my God, they're doing like Earth X Captain America. So when it's like, nope, it's Johnny Storm, I freaking lost it. It was like
so funny.
the highlight of the whole movie for me.
Just super deep cut switcheroo.
Yep. What are we talking about? Yes, Blade.
Blade's cool.
How about Chris Christopherson as Whistler?
Oh,
He's almost as cool as Blade.
Yes.
Yeah, maybe
Agreed.
cooler.
Almost, yeah. I was going to say, I think cooler.
That stood out a lot to me because when I was a kid, Dad had an 8-track of Chris Christopherson music that we'd play in the station wagon. I played that thing so much. I enjoyed his music, and then it's just like I had that memory, and then suddenly he's in this movie. I'm like, what? Oh my God, this is so cool. So he was awesome.
Did you guys all see this in the theater?
I know I did.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Right on.
Sweet. And yes, the second one's awesome.
Oh.
Any love for the third one?
It's okay. I mean, I fucking hated it the first time I saw it.
Yeah, me too.
Yep.
We watched it again, not within the last 5-ish years, and I was like, yeah, because Terry was like, we should watch all of them. I'm like, okay, can we just stop?
Do you know
at
what
2?
that means? Yeah.
But watching it again, like knowing that it was far inferior, it's like
probably helps, yeah.
it's not the worst thing in the world if you know what you're. It's kind of like the Spider-Man 3 that Raimi did. Like,
Yeah.
when you saw it after the high of Spider-Man 2, it's like, oh wow, this is a piece of shit. But when you watch it again a few years later and you know it's disappointing, somehow that makes it a little less disappointing. You're braced for it.
Yeah, that makes sense. I think too, like all the cool miscasted actors in that movie also is highlight for me. Getting Parker Posey to show up, freaking
and her little Pomeranian that has the crazy monster jaws.
oh yeah,
And Ryan Reynolds is Hannibal King, calling her a cock juggling thunder cunt. That was pretty great.
We did get that, yeah.
and it also has Patton Oswalt shows up in it too, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
Really, the worst part about it is they got some like fucking muscle twink to play Dracula. It's like, what? Dracula doesn't need to be a big bulky guy. He should be scary.
No, and that's probably one of the things that really bugged me the most of when I saw it when I saw the third one in the theater, because it's like this character Blade, his roots are tied in the comic book world to Dracula, and then like where can you go after the second movie as far as fighting vampires? What's left? Oh yeah, maybe the king of all vampires, Dracula, and then that's the Dracula they gave us.
I mean, it would have been better if they gave us the Dracula from the anime adaptation of Tomb of Dracula, where there's a scene where depressed Dracula is by himself in a diner late at night eating a cheeseburger. That happens. Look it up.
This movie also has Donald Logue. I love that dude. Everything he's in, he gets it pretty early, but
Yeah, he deserved it. His character was
he's like-
shit.
But The Tao of Steve, great movie. Check it out.
Oh wait, no, I'm thinking of I was thinking of the second one with the guy from Walking Dead,
God, no,
who's like the turncoat who tries to take over from Whistler.
Oh.
That's who I thought. I'm getting my secondary characters mixed up here.
with the first one too, I love it when he plays bad guys, but Steven Dorff is so
He's
good at it.
good.
He's always had this like weirdo charisma about him that I just love. His cockiness as a
in,
villain.
Righteous Gemstones.
Yes.
He's like, he does smarmy really well.
Yeah,
to the
that's-
point where
that's a
it's
good
hard
way
to
of putting
see
it.
him as like a good guy or like a leading man. Like, he's definitely better as the sort of scummy, greasy villain guy.
Yeah.
He does that vibe well. I don't mean that as an insult. Like,
No.
I'm sure he's a perfectly nice person in real life, but just one of those actors who like has a very specific niche that he fits in.
Yes. And when he's there and he's doing it, it's amazing. So, Tad, what trivia do you have for Blade?
When David Goyer first pitched the idea of doing a Blade movie, the executives of New Line felt there were only 3 actors who could possibly play the role: Wesley Snipes, Denzel Washington, and Lawrence Fishburne. But in Goyer's mind, Snipes was always the perfect choice for the character of Blade.
And he was right.
Yep. Jet Li was actually offered the part of Deacon Frost, but opted to do Lethal Weapon 4 instead.
Now that would have been awesome, because then they could have had them like really go at it, fighting each other.
Yeah.
Pearl was so large that a set had to be built around him. It was about 700 pounds of latex skin that had to be moved with a forklift. The blobulous vampire took 4 people to perform, 1 at the head, 1 at each arm, and 1 operating the feet. He's surrounded by used blood bags and debris, but originally they wanted dead children scattered around, as well as seeing Pearl was too big to move around easily and would need easy prey. And then the last thing I thought was really interesting is the British dance group The Prodigy were approached to do the score and soundtrack for the film, but they had to turn it down due to other work commitments.
Cool.
Love The Prodigy. That could have been cool.
Yeah. Okay, so moving on from Blade. Tad, what's our next film?
The Toxic Avenger.
Armed political extremists have taken hostages downtown. Somebody do something!
Wait! Stop! We'll get to all of that. Just relax, okay?
We'd lost Shelley a year ago. These days, it's just me and the kid.
Looks great.
I'll just scrape off the black part. That part's pretty good.
No, give him back.
I don't want to hurt him.
Why didn't you do anything?
Sometimes it's better to do nothing.
It's going good.
You're saying that this corporation would knowingly poison its own customers just to boost their own profit margins?
Summon the nuts.
Okay, summoning the nuts.
I didn't want any of this. I'm a monster.
You're not a monster. Show him your good heart.
Hey, buddy, I'm your dad.
What the?
I wasn't even involved. But sometimes, you gotta do something.
Who the fuck are you?
Just some dude with a mouth!
I'm screaming the clear, holding hands up to God.
How does it feel to be a hero?
A simple melody.
Do you realize what's at stake here?
Everything!
Find him, bring him here. There you are.
Only the good things in life, that's all that matters.
That was just self-defense. You haven't killed anyone else, have you?
See, when you say, self-defense,
Only the good things.
He's an ugly son of a bitch, though.
That's all that matters to me.
The Toxic Avenger?
That's what the kids are calling him. I think it's swell.
In a world where billionaires are evil, so current times, one
that's just
chronically
reality.
one chronically unappreciated janitor has a really bad day at work. The kind of day that ends with industrial sludge, corporate negligence, and a full body glow up no dermatologist would endorse. After a toxic waste incident, capitalism. He transforms into a lumpy, radioactive vigilante with superhuman strength, a strong sense of justice, and the general vibe of a melted action figure left on the dashboard in July. Now armed with a mop, a mission, and absolutely no PR training, the Toxic Avenger sets up to clean up the city, literally and violently. As corrupt executive plot henchmen get creatively redistributed across city blocks and local news struggles to describe whatever they're looking at, our unlikely hero discovers that real power isn't about money or influence. It's about being too mutated to intimidate. Weirdly heartfelt. I love the Toxic Avenger.
Yes.
We played this one at the Capitol. I was happy to see an early screener of it. And this movie, I love the first original Toxic Avenger, but I don't hold it like dearly to the point where I was like upset they're remaking it. And this is so far removed from it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, this is how you do a reboot. Like, make it your own thing. And Macon Blair did that. And I'm so glad we finally saw it.
Make your own thing, but not totally ignore the source material. I mean, this movie is
so many homages.
Is such a love letter to trauma.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep. I too loved it a lot. Way more than I thought I was gonna.
Is this your first watch for you?
Nope. I watched it for last year, and it was one of my 11 through 15 on the year ender. It was close. I mean, I loved it. My biggest complaint was just not hearing the opening trauma theme music. Dun, 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 dun. Bum,
But you got a Motorhead song instead, so that's better.
But yeah, it's great.
Oh, you mean the trauma logo music?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
The warning that you're about to see something terrible.
Yes, that.
Stop it. Yeah, I too love this. Yeah, and I'm gonna say it because I know it was controversial at the time when, pictures were coming out of what he looks like, and the fan base was getting all butthurt about it. This is I've decided this is my favorite Toxie look, hands down. I love the makeup so much because, well, one, it really has that Toxic Crusaders Toxie look, and then
it's a little more toyish looking.
Yeah, and I kind of like that because it's really leaning into more of the fantasy and the comic bookness of the Toxic Avenger, and then just those bright colors, just those bright greens and purples and stuff. I just love it. Everything I like, when you got the exposed brain and when it's pulsating, that's really cool. The Popeye forearms, which were great. The oversized eye that he can pop out. And then just overall outfit. Like, I love that he's wearing like high tops with like white socks with stripes. The only thing, and I love how they included the tutu, but I feel like including the tutu in the look was really forced in this one. Like, I know he puts it on to try to cheer up his stepson, and they reference a picture where they're all wearing tutus.
Why do you leave it on?
Exactly. Why did he leave it on when he tries to go talk to the head of the company?
Yeah.
By disguising himself as one of the bodyguards, but he's still wearing the tutu. Like,
yeah, pretty forced.
Yeah, so it feels really forced, and it's kind of a bummer because I feel like the tutu on Toxie has always been something that's really cool and funny as far as the look goes. You got this hulking mutant monster, but he's wearing a tutu. But also in the original film, it makes sense because, he's tricked into wearing it by the bullies, and he's laughed at, which causes him to fall in the vat of toxic waste. And that tutu is kind of always like a reminder. It's like some symbolism of like who he used to be, and he used to be the guy that everybody ridiculed and tortured. And now he's like destined to always have to wear this tutu. Not that I ever think that Lloyd put that much thought into the creation of that. I think it was always just like, oh, this would be funny to put a monster in a tutu. But that's how I've always looked at it as far as that goes. And the fact that it's just kind of like forced in there in this one was kind of a bummer for me. But overall, I love the look. And I just love this movie.
No, I like this one. I mean, I've said on the show before, I like this more than the original because I don't particularly care for the original. I didn't see it at a formative time, so it wasn't one of my, grails of independent weirdo gross out cinema. My biggest complaint about this one is that it sets itself up like it's going to have a lot more of a message, and then it just kind of throws that to the wayside toward the end in favor of just trying to be a big silly trauma movie, basically. I think they could have made the satire a lot sharper and focused less on just being gross and silly. But that said, the gross, silly, funny parts are, to the most part, quite effective. Kevin Bacon is clearly having a lot of fun here, as is Elijah
Bacon.
Wood. Yeah.
Elijah Wood.
And I like the weird parkour guy and like the
He's my favorite
insane
of that
clown
gang.
posse
Yeah.
gang that's chasing him around.
I love all he ever says is parkour, and he's not even that good at it.
No, I assume that was the joke. Is
Yeah,
that he's
yeah.
like really shitty at it, but very enthusiastic.
It's like falls off the stage and blows up. He does that one parkour in that house and like trips and falls onto the dining room table.
But that said, that they didn't focus more on the satire aspect and the message aspect of the fighting against the shitty healthcare system and all that is, I think, offset by the fact that in real life they dedicated a chunk of the sales to help erase medical debt for people, which is fucking awesome.
Yeah.
So I mean, talk about putting your money where your mouth is. If I guess if I had to choose between a perfect script or doing some good in the real world, then yeah, that definitely wins out every time. But yeah, so this isn't one that I'm gonna go back to all the time, but I'll throw it on every couple of years or something.
If it's
probably.
on, I don't think I'd turn it. It's so good.
Yeah, I mean, I really love this movie. I feel like this is the type of movies that Troma themselves need to be making. They really lean into trying to be gross and offensive like a Troma movie, but never go that far, never cross a line, and never stop the story to a halt just for some stupid, gross toilet humor joke.
Yeah. And there's still a lot of heart to this one, which most Troma movies don't have.
And a lot of heart. And just the thing that I am just so happy about more than anything else, that this, you think, okay, we're remaking a Troma movie. We're casting Peter Dinklage. Is there going to be a bunch of height jokes in this movie? And not a single one. They never acknowledge it at all, which I think is amazing. Which I would also assume is
because it's Troma. It's amazing that they didn't.
Yeah, exactly. So, and you talk about the heart, and that feels like, even though it's not Peter Dinklage under the makeup, it's still his voice, and whoever the guy they did get to be under the makeup.
It's a woman.
Oh, cool. Okay, the person they got to put into the makeup did a really good job matching the body language to the dialogue and to what Peter Dinklage was doing in the movie as well. That heart lands on the shoulder of Peter and Toxie themselves. Just so much, just so much really cool looks that Peter gives.
Well, in honesty, when I saw and when this was announced and we saw the first pictures and stuff, I'm like, I don't know if I like all the. I love Macon Blair. I'm like, I don't know. This does not seem like up his alley. I mean, his filmmaking has a mean streak, but also has a fun sense of humor. But Troma seemed like a weird fit for me, and then Peter Dinklage, not because of his height or anything. I was like, well, that's just a weird pick because it's I'm just hoping Troma doesn't make it a bunch of short person jokes.
Yeah.
And so when I saw it, it was just such a different tone than I was expecting. They like kept the trauma tone with, like you've all said, you know, without beating you over the head with it, which I really appreciated. The acting is actually really good in this too. Peter Tremblay or something Tremblay, whatever. Jacob Tremblay. He's awesome. He's a great kid actor, and he's really funny in this, and makes you feel for him. And you know, Dinklage is one of the best. He's fantastic, and but I completely sort of get why like this took so long to come out, because they were just like, we made this thing, how do we market it, what tone do we use, is Toxie a thing? It's like, well, what did you think you were making? You know?
Yeah, I know. Yeah to shelve it because they say it's unreleasable. Like, well, yeah, one, did you know what you were making? And then two, the movie's works just fine.
Yeah.
I want to point out some of the, because again, I feel like it's also a love letter to trauma. I want to point out some of the trauma tributes that I picked up on watching this movie. Sorry if I step on any trivia there.
No, I was going to say, like, all the trivia was all the references, and I'm like, I'm not going to put any of these in the trivia because it's just, it's a lot.
It's a lot, yeah. And these are just the ones I picked up on. Obviously, right out of the gate, the name of the town is St. Roma, and the S is, like, faded out, so the sign says Trauma. I really like, what is the name of the classical music piece that they use for in the original Toxic Avenger, like during its transformation sequence and stuff? They use it throughout the entire movie. Is that Witch Mountain or something? I don't remember. I love how they mix that original music into the music they did for the transformation scene. It's there, and I think that was great. Obviously, you got the blind girl at the fast food restaurant.
Hilarious.
Which is hilarious because, like, and again, if you're a Trauma fan watching this, they flip it. Like, she's not completely helpless because there's the leader is threatening her, and he starts to say the line that was said in the original movie: "I never cornholed a blind bitch before." That's from the original movie. I didn't write that. He starts to say it, and then the woman, he doesn't get the whole line out when the woman like throws her drink in his face, and that's great. And then I was worried, like, is this one of those moments that we're going to screech things to a halt to pay tribute to Trauma or whatever? But no, that character comes back as like one of the FBI agents at the end. So at least they did that.
It's Mussorgsky's Night on Bald Mountain.
There we go. I knew it was something mountain. Thank you. The mutant bird, I really feel like they were
that might be the thing that made me laugh the hardest in the whole
the little mutant
movie.
Bird.
Yes.
The way it looked, it really reminded me a lot of the mutant chicken zombies in Poultrygeist. I'm just saying, only way better effects.
The villain that has the baby head is that gag is so funny.
Oh,
like,
my God.
Literal gag, because she's like gagging trying to talk to him.
They stretch it out so long
Yes.
too. It was so long, and I'm laughing the whole time. And that's the thing. Those henchmen, that band, the Killer Nuts, all those characters feel like they come right out of a Trauma movie. If you go back and watch like Toxic Avenger 2 and 3. That stuff's going on. There is a guy in, like, I think part 2 that's just in the background doing parkour all the time.
Yeah, I mean, we just watched Nukem High, and I'm like, these characters are out of that high school. Like
100%.
They would be performing in the school talent show or something.
Yeah.
It took me 3 tries to sit through Toxic Avenger 2, so I don't think I'm going to be making the attempt to go through any of the rest of them.
The evil corporation in this, BTH, it stands for Body Talk Health, which is a reference to the song Body Talk, which opens the original Toxic Avenger movie. That's the opening song for the credit sequence in original Toxie. Melvin Ferd, I think is how it's said. Ferd. I recognize that name instantly right at the beginning of this movie. The journalist's name in this is that, and that's that's Toxie's original name in the first Toxic Avenger. You see the I Love Monster T-shirt at the end of the film, And then, of course, you got Lloyd. You can't.
Yeah, Lloyd's in there.
And I'll tell you what. I will say this, too. I've seen a lot of cameos of Lloyd Kaufman, of like people like James Gunn or whoever, or some Shlomo, Prescribed Films guys who put Lloyd in their film for 30 seconds. This was probably the best performance I've ever seen him give.
Yeah.
I feel like I feel like he actually got directed this time instead of just doing his own thing. Anyway, so those are the references I picked up.
There was one where they make a reference to the other school, and it's like the Nukes, or there's a little Class of Nukem High reference in there somewhere.
Okay, I missed that. Yeah, there's probably like a billion of them, and that's the thing. Like, I feel like this is a movie that has a lot of rewatchability, because watching it this last time, this would be the second, maybe third time I've watched it now, and I'm like, when you get to the fast food place, I'm like trying to read all the signs in the background or the graffiti on the wall. It like is all jokes, and all those in the restaurant are innuendo jokes, and good stuff. My favorite gag of this whole movie has got to be, it's that classic superhero poising, looking over the city on the top of the roof. But it turns out he's just taking a piss.
When he pisses on his own face to get the chains off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was also impressed with the cast. I mean, besides the big hitters, it was awesome seeing Daisy and the mayor. They're both from Ted Lasso.
Oh, really?
She's cool. And then JJ, she was just on Welcome to Derry. She was in there. And David Yao's in this, who's singer for Jesus Lizard and Flipper. I love those bands. And
cool.
Yeah, and I just love Macon Blair and stuff he does.
That's really cool. Okay. Excellent. All right. Well, do you have any trivia for this then?
I do. I have plenty.
Okay.
A remake of The Toxic Avenger was first announced in 2010 with Steve Pink set to write and direct. Arnold Schwarzenegger was in talks for a role in 2013, but development delays led him to drop out in favor of Terminator Genisys. Conrad Vernon signed on to direct a different version in 2016, but this stalled as well. Kevin Smith was even approached to direct, but he disagreed with the studio's desire to start a franchise or to Marvelize it. Legendary Pictures finally acquired the rights in 2018, and Macon Blair, himself a Troma fan, was hired to write and direct the following year. And then we talked a little bit about this, but here's some more insight. Although Peter Dinklage stars as Winston Goose and provides the voice for the mutated protagonist, the physical performance of the Toxic Avenger is portrayed by Luisa Guerrero. To ensure the character's movements remain consistent with Dinklage's acting style, the production utilized a specialized mirroring process. Dinklage first filmed a complete version of the movie in a plain room, performed every scene as Toxie to establish the character's gait, timing, and physical choices. And then Guerrero, a movement artist and creature performer whose credits include Teletubbies and Wicked, then studied this footage to replicate Dinklage's performance on set while wearing 30 pounds of foam prosthetics. Dinklage returned 6 months later to record the final voice track, timing his dialogue to match her physical delivery. So they went to a lot of work to make sure everything lined up, and which is something that Troma would never do.
No. Nope.
Just it would have had like no moving lips and just Peter Dinklage doing a bad ADR or something.
Well, go back and watch the original Toxic Avenger. The Toxic Avenger's voice isn't even consistent through the movie. It changes. There's like a different voice actor. And 75% of the time you see Toxie, you don't see his face when he's talking.
Yeah. And that's what I have for trivia.
Sweet. Okay, Brian. I know you're chomping at the bit for this one. What's our next movie?
You know, this whole episode I've been looking high. I've been looking low for that Guyvin' thing to show, and it's finally here. The last movie tonight is The Guyver.
They are here, among us, now. Nothing less than the fate of the human race is at stake when this girl meets this boy.
I don't know what the hell that is, and I'm not sure I want to find out.
The most lethal weapon ever conceived. A one-of-a-kind prototype. And all you have for me is he pulled a switch.
Why are they chasing us?
They're coming!
Find the girl.
Look out!
Which way do you think I am?
Where's this guy?
I am the Guyver.
You're mine, sucker!
I got a job for you.
Schlubby doofus Sean Barker falls literally face first into destiny when, after stealing a strange artifact from a crime scene, he has an altercation with a gang in a dark alleyway and they knock him down. He lands on the thing and it bonds to him. It turns out to be an alien artifact called the Guyver, a biomechanical suit of armor that brings him into conflict with the Kronos Corporation, an alien entity run by creatures called the Zoonoids who want the Guyver armor back for themselves. Boy, this movie is based on a manga called Bio Booster Armor Guyver by Yoshiki Takaya. And I think, I can't remember if it may have either recently ended or it might even still be running. And it's been going since 1985. Yeah, and the same guy is still writing and drawing it as far as I'm aware.
Oh, that's amazing.
And there have been a couple of anime adaptations. There's one at the end of the 80s that ran for I think 12 episodes, and then there was one in the mid 2000s that ran for it was maybe about double that. I think it was like 24 episodes, something like that. The animated movies or the series are pretty cool, and they are obviously a lot closer to the manga. They're way more violent. There's none of the goofy, jokey shit in this. And so they've been, I think, looking to make a live action movie out of this for a while. Eventually, Brian Usna got involved as a producer, and then they approached Screaming Mad George to do the effects. Because Usna had worked with him a bunch, and he said, okay, but I want to direct it too, because he was a big fan of the property, and just loves Japanese monster stuff in general. And he got a hold of his buddy Steve Wang, who they'd worked together a few times. He was 24 years old when he directed this movie, if you can believe that.
Holy crap.
So he said, you can come be my assistant. And he's like, no, I want to be co-director. He's like, okay, fine. So they agreed on that. So according to Steve in an interview, he said he did most of the action stuff and George did most of the the dialogue and the drama.
Oh, really?
Human scenes, yeah. And they originally the script was a lot closer to the anime and the manga, that it was going to be just dark and violent, fucked up, crazy creatures everywhere. Mm-hmm. And then the Ninja Turtles became super fucking popular, and the live action Ninja Turtles movie came out I think a year before, because that was 90 and this came out in 91. And so Usna was like, well, that's where the money's at. Let's do that.
Oh, okay.
So that is why the tone of this movie is all over the place. And you watch this and think, who the fuck is this for? Because ostensibly it is a very silly children's monster movie. Mm-hmm. But there are also extremely gory deaths, some terrifying can you imagine if you were 8 or 9 years old and you loved the Ninja Turtles, but you'd never really seen anything super dark, and your parents were like, oh, this looks like another Ninja Turtles thing, and then you see Mark Hamill turn into a giant cockroach monster and die of internal injuries? What's happening to Luke Skywalker, Mommy?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And so with Brian Usna on board, of course, you've got all like it looks and feels like a this era Brian Usna movie, even though he didn't do any of the directing. Although he probably kind of wanted to and horned in a little bit too much. Again, Steve Wang said he, especially with him, didn't really bother George too much because they were already buddies and had made a bunch of movies together. But he said he just gave Steve the worst time. And when he at one point had turned in some of his footage and their editor put it together, Usna, I guess, called him up and just reamed him out. It's like, what the fuck are you doing? This is just the worst piece of shit, and you've ruined the movie. And he's like, what are you talking about? I don't even. So he hadn't seen the footage put together, and then he went in and watched it and was like, oh no, your editor did something bad here. He's like, show me how to work this Moviola film splicing machine, and I will fix it. And Usna's like, all right, you bet, like just browbeating him. And so he redid the scene and handed it back to him. He's like, look, this is what it's supposed to look like. And to his credit, Usna kind of caved and went, okay, yeah, you actually did a really good job here. And then, so Steve Wang also wound up editing about a third of the movie.
To me, that makes sense, too, because the editing style of this film does seem really specific and geared towards the special effects and action side of things. So there's like segments in this film shot-wise that would maybe be kind of confusing putting it together. Because it's like there's shots that I've just, up to that point, have never seen before.
Yeah, well, and like the shot of where they're fighting in the warehouse, where all the Zoonoids transform for the first time.
Yeah.
And then he turns into the Guyver, and there's that great shot of all the segments of armor shooting out on those little tendrils around him and then collapsing on his body. They cut that together so fucking seamlessly. It goes from Jack Armstrong, the guy who plays Sean, who's a fucking terrible actor, by the way. He's like the worst part of this whole movie. To they made a stop motion miniature of him.
Oh.
And that's when all those things come out. All that stuff is stop motion.
Holy shit.
But I dare you to point out to me the exact moment where they cut the film from him standing there to the maquette. Like, it's so seamless and so well done.
Yeah, and who's going to know to edit it that way other than the guy who shot it and the special effects guy?
Yeah. But so yeah, with the Usna connection, then you get all the great character actors. You got David Gale shows up.
Yep.
Jeffrey Combs shows up as Dr. East. Fucking Linnea Quigley has a little bit in there. Not that she really has anything to do with Brian Usna, but it was just fun to I love that moment where Stryker jumps into the horror movie set and they're all freaking out, and the director starts yelling at him, "You came in too early, you ruined the shot," and he's just like so taken aback. David Gale he might be my favorite part of this movie, playing Balkus.
Yeah.
When Lisker, played by Michael Berryman, comes and brings him the briefcase that they think has the Guyver unit. Like, look, boss, I brought the thing back to you. And he opens it up and goes, "What is this? Some kind of masochistic joke?" Like, just hamming it up to the rafters. And in one of the commentary tracks on the Blu-ray that Unearthed Films put out, there's a track with Steve and George, and then there's a track with a couple of the other special effects guys. And on that one, they were saying David Gale, he would always deliver his lines like that, really drawing them out and hissing and all the histrionics, because it gave him more screen time. But he was like, other than that, everyone said he was just a really wonderful guy to be around. It was just like one of his funny little actor quirks. But the best part of that scene, though, is he opens the briefcase up and there's a toaster inside, because the scientist who stole the Guyver unit swapped it out for this toaster.
Yeah.
Later on in the movie, he's making toast with that toaster,
and it burns it.
Yeah.
See, when you tell me that Steve Wang directed the actors and stuff, and Scream Mad George did the action.
Other way around.
Oh, Steve Wang did the action? Oh, okay. I must have heard you wrong. Okay, well then
Either
that
that or I said it wrong, but yeah.
that makes so. Steve Wang did the action. Scream Mad George did the performances.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that makes sense with my original thought process on this. I mean, yes, Brian Usna wanted it more in Ninja Turtles. I get that too. So it's a lot of his influence, but those performances are so cartoony and over the top from everybody in this movie that it's like, how can you can't totally blame Brian Usna for that. That's on the director getting those performances. So if it's Screaming Mad George,
but when the guy funding the movie says make it a children's movie, all of a sudden,
yeah,
what are you gonna do?
Yeah, it's true, but I would think you could pull it back some.
I'd say, are you sure about that?
but also that it being directed by two special effects guys, and George knowing a lot of effects guys from Japan too, so they brought over guys who worked on like Super Sentai and Kamen Rider and Ultraman and stuff like that. So there's a lot of the suits in the movie are fucking amazing.
Yeah.
And it's not like an Alien type of thing where like, oh, keep the monsters in the shadows. This is like, nope, put the fucking key lights on them. We spent the money on these things, we're gonna show them off, and they look really good.
See, because that was my whole thought process leading into this. It's in my notes that, like, I assumed Screaming Mad George was the one who did a lot of the acting, and it was his directing style that wanted those type of performances, because it really feels like a love letter to 70s Super Sentai and stuff like that. Just some of that, like, a little bit more child-friendly, but really cartoony, over-the-top performances.
Well, but, I mean, Steve Wang grew up watching that stuff, too. Like, he was a big fan of Kamen Rider and all that kind of... In fact, he directed some Kamen Rider stuff later on.
But then, that's true, yeah. But if it wasn't for when he did the sequel, Dark Hero...
he wanted this one to be more like the anime. So when he got the money to do the sequel, which had less than a third of the budget of this one,
and it looks
this one was $3 million, and that one was like $900,000.
Yeah,
and I did rewatch that one, all just because I hadn't seen it in forever. And there's the 90-minute original release, and there's like a little over 2-hour director's cut. And that's too fucking long. The 90-minute one is, but just because, like, the monsters look great, the tone of it is great. The guy who plays Sean in the second one is the guy who wrote the first two X-Men movies.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah. But man, the script for that second one feels like it was generated, but just a random cliche generator. It's just, it's so bad.
It been looks forever great, since I've seen it.
But it's kind of, yeah. Anyway, we're not here to talk about the second Guyver. What I'm guessing by the silence so far, and maybe it's just because I haven't shut up yet, that the other two did not enjoy this one quite as much as you and I.
Jason, do you want to go first, or do you want me to go?
It's I'll go, and then you can pick it back up. No, it's fine. It was okay at the end, but I fucking hate Jimmy Walker ruined this movie for me. I thought he sucked so bad, and I hated it. Like,
can I help with that maybe a little bit? He didn't like it either.
Well,
he was trying to get away from that persona, and when they hired him, he thought, great, something that has nothing to do with my TV character. I want to become a real actor and do like actual performances. And then they literally told him, can you please be blacker? And he was like, oh, fuck, what have I done?
And then to force him to do the fucking line right at the very end of the movie, too.
It's awful. Awful. Ruined this movie. And then...
And you could say... I'm sorry, I keep interrupting you, but you could say, like, his performance, sure. But he was doomed from the start. What the freak was that outfit? Like, he's supposed to be this henchman for this evil corporation, and he looks like he's wearing something out of Reading Rainbow or something. I don't know. Sorry, Jason, go ahead.
And then I wasn't sure if Ms. Key was overdubbed or not, but she was terrible. I didn't like
Vivian
her.
Wu? No, that was her.
I thought her performance was awful.
She was in a bunch of stuff around this time.
And then what happened to Mark Hamill? Why did he do this movie? What?
because
the poor guy, he was Luke Skywalker, and now he's doing this movie. What happened?
do you think?
I mean, he was kind of in between, like trying to shed the Skywalker thing, but all the voice work hadn't really happened yet.
Yeah.
So this was just kind of his weird little wilderness mustache period.
Which is probably why he's got the mustache.
Yeah, no, I think he's cool, and it's cool for trying other things, but
Do you think? Now I know I'm not setting a high bar for you, but do you think he was the best performer in this movie? I think he is.
Hands down. I mean, Jeffrey Combs was great when he was in there, and David Gale's the best ever.
But I feel like still even David Gale, who is awesome in this movie and is just awesome in general, is still matching the tone of all the other performances.
And that's my biggest problem with this whole movie is the tone. Like, it sucks. It's not cohesive in any way. It plays mostly comedy-ish and little like fun action, but then David Gale's here, Jeffrey Combs is here, Mark Hamill's acting his fucking ass off.
See,
in every scene he's in.
It almost feels like to me that Mark Hamill thinks he's in a different movie than everybody else.
He acts like it in this movie.
That's what I'm saying.
And then I think, I don't mean this bad, but like the action is so slow and not good. Like it's, I don't know how else to say it nicer.
I will say the Guyver suit looks better in the second one. In this one, the proportions are like, I love the design, but the proportions are a little weird in this. Like its head is too big or something.
Yeah, no, the proportion. I mean, the suit. Yeah, I love the suit. I love all the suits of all the monsters. Awesome, but their fight scenes are just comically not good at all. And I'm like, why is this movie? This is the first time watch for me.
They got like actual martial artists to be in those suits during the fight scenes.
And I'm saying, well, I don't know if it made it to the screen, in my opinion. But
probably just too bulky. But
I was just say they also probably weighed 150 pounds apiece.
Yeah. And it looks it.
Oh, I thought maybe you'd seen this before.
I thought I had too, and I started it, and I was like, nope, this is new.
Okay.
I understand Michael Berryman, but I thought he was pretty good in this. For him.
Oh yeah. He might steal the show for me in this movie. Yeah.
I mean,
I really like him in this.
But Jimmy Walker fucking ruined it. I hate him. But at the end of the day, the monster stuff, the Japanese influence, all that, I do like all that, and it's okay. 2 stars.
Out of 3?
No.
Tad, what about you?
Oh man, this reminded me of the time my friend was like, "Hey, you should watch Doctor Who. It's really good."
Hey.
And I watched it, and I was like, "This is like,
why do people like this?"
I'm like, "This is Power Rangers, like
that they found in the trash."
Yeah, it's like, why is this? Does this feel like Brian described it earlier, where he's like, "Who is this for?" It's like, am I watching a kids movie with gore? It's like Taming the T-Rex without laughs. Some of the makeup and stuff was cool, but I'm like, oh, I'll be completely honest with you. It took me 3 tries to get through this.
Oh no.
Yeah, I started watching it. I woke up and some other movie was playing on Prime or Tubi or wherever the hell this was playing at. And I was like, "What is this? Is it the same movie? Who knows?" Because the tone's so weird. It could be. This could be the same movie.
So you're not going to rush out and buy the 3-disc 4K set from Unearthed Films then?
No, I'm not. I want it. But there's things I didn't hate the entire thing. I've watched much worse probably in the last couple months for this show. But and I tried watching it on like a Saturday afternoon, and I was pretty tired and dozed off. Woke up, tried to find where I left off. I'm like, I don't fucking know. Does it really matter? And then I don't remember what happened. I was like, I cannot do this, and so stepped away for a bit. Came back to it and watched it and finished it. To do its due diligence, but not for me. It again felt like a bad 90s kids TV show with but someone knew what they were doing with like the makeup and effects and stuff. But just not for me, man. Like I just don't. The tone was too weird for me. It's too out there. It's all over the place. Didn't love it.
That's what I mean. I don't have like rose tinted glasses on for this. I recognize this movie is a mess.
Yeah.
But I, like all of the kids in 1991 who saw this, I too assumed it was some kind of Ninja Turtles thing, as just saw all the cool monsters on the cover and thought, I'm going to rent this. This looks awesome. And I loved it when I was a kid. And so, like, even recognizing all the flaws, I can't help but still love it. It's just...
Oh,
That
same.
makes sense.
Oh,
totally.
same. Yeah. I loved it back then, and I still love it now. Yeah, I recognize its flaws for sure. Brian, what would you think would happen if Screaming Mad George was just given like a...
Just turned loose? Make your surrealist, fucked up, like the shunting Guyver.
That, or just whatever's in your brain.
Yeah.
Just make that.
That would be
love
awesome.
to see that.
That would be great, yeah. I mean, I don't think it would even be recognizable as the Guyver at that point. Like, it would be so fucking bizarre, just because he is, both with his imagery and like he's kind of drawn to the surrealist storytelling too. So it would just be super weird. But
yep. Oh yeah.
That the Balkus at the end, that was his big contribution to the effects. That was a 5th scale rod puppet. So I mean, the thing was still like. Basically, that puppet was almost the size of a person.
Nice.
With the little Guyver puppet guy sitting on top of its head.
Yeah.
Running around. And that, the shot where they walk, where they're bringing Mizuki into the Kronos headquarters, and they're going into that hallway that's got all the tanks full of the, like, failed Zoanoids.
Yeah, uh-huh.
When they first open the door and you are seeing them at the end of the hallway, that they're standing in an empty warehouse. That's a hanging miniature that they built and just
cool.
set over the camera. Yeah.
Oh, I love those kind of effects. Yeah. Doing some forced perspective and stuff like that. Oh. Sweet. Okay, Tad, I guess Brian and I are done gushing. What trivia do you have for the Guyver?
I found one piece of trivia that I was just like, watching this, I just assumed like Brian likes this shit, so he's just gonna talk forever about it. So I'm not gonna dig into it, and I'm glad I didn't, because he provided much better insight. Here's my one piece of trivia: Stephen Baldwin was also considered for the role of the Guyver. That's what I have for trivia.
Yeah. Like, he's not good, but he's still better than Jack Armstrong.
Yeah, as long as he's doing his character from Biodome, then that would be...
Can we watch Biodome instead?
I want to watch a movie where Pauly Shore is the Guyver.
Oh, my God. I'm
Guyver.
the Guyver, buddy. Okay, time to rate these films. I already know 2 of you guys' rates. I don't even... Jason, why don't you start?
It might be recency bias, but I might go Toxic Blade Guyver.
Oh, nice. Okay. Tad, what about you?
Exactly the same.
Oh, okay. Brian?
Flip those. Guyver, Blade, Toxie.
Guyver first. Okay.
Yeah. Just, I mean, again, Blade is a better movie. I will grant you that. Yeah. But I just have more affection for the Guyver.
Prove it with your order.
I think I'm kind of sort of in the same boat. I still put Toxie first. But Guyver and then Blade. Yes, Blade is probably, as far as a film goes, is better than Guyver. But I've definitely watched Guyver way more times than I have Blade. So Guyver wins. Okay, kill of the episode. Jason?
Mine's the javelin mop through the guy's head. Where just...
Yeah.
I like that one.
That's a good one. Tad?
Maybe at the restaurant where they like shoot his jaw off, and he comes like stepping out into outside, and then the cops blow him, blast him up. That's pretty fun.
Yeah, Brian.
Dr. East getting the Jaws treatment in the Guyver, because it makes absolutely no fucking sense, and it's such a stupid joke. But I don't know. I like it.
No, that's a really good one too. I didn't think of that one. I'm with Tad though. I like, and it's a bummer because you saw it in the trailer, but it is also setting up like this is the type of movie you're gonna see. When the guy gets his jaw ripped off by the mop at the fast food restaurant.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Close second though for me is Monster Kevin Bacon getting spun around by the car engine.
Yeah.
Okay. So we're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we're going to conclude the show with our final 2 segments. But first, you're going to hear a promo for a podcast network called the Prescribed Films Podcast Network. The PFPN is home to so many diverse collection of shows, such as Mad Ghoul Radio. Welcome to the home of Mad Ghoul Radio and the Haunt and Groove Society, where eerie electronic beats collide with the spine-chilling echoes of horror cinema. A space for music lovers, film fanatics, and anyone drawn to the darker side of life. You can check out Mad Ghoul Radio and all the other shows at thepfpn.com. We'll be right back.
You're listening to the Prescribed Films Podcast Network, home to hundreds of hours of free podcast entertainment. The shows on this network all have a common goal, providing you with the best discussions about movies and other forms of entertainment media. The PFPN hopes to fill your earholes with audio joy. Visit our website with links to all the other amazing shows at www.thepfpn.com. Thanks for listening.
Welcome back to the show, and now it's time to hear from you guys, the listeners. Here's Jason with shout-outs.
It's time for...
Shout-outs! 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 Shout-outs!
All right, we asked, what are your favorite superhero horror movies? And these are your shout-outs. Up first on the Facebook page, we got attacker Tim Lennerer says, Brightburn came to mind first. You can see some of the plot threads of 2025 Superman in it. Both movies were James Gunn productions to some extent. There's a truly horrific sequence where cops try to stop evil kid Superman, and it goes astonishingly bad for every human character. Blade and Blade 2 were also great examples of both genres. Never saw the third one in that series, nor Spawn, nor the Ghost Rider movies. And I never saw the New Mutants film that sat on the shelf for years. Turns out there are more superhero horror flicks than I knew. Edited for typo. Oh, wait, I probably didn't have to read that part. Up next. Yes, all those. Yes, Brightburn.
Yes. That almost made the list, but it was superhero horror, so I wanted to stick with heroes.
Villain.
Yeah.
Up next, attacker Casey Kelderman says, oh, Mike, I'm sorry.
Uh-oh.
You liked Casey, right?
I still do, even if he has bad taste in movies. Go ahead.
Well, he does. Listen up. He says, the Toxic Avenger 4, Citizen Toxie. Just for the team up with Toxie and Sergeant Kabuki Man.
There's elements in there that I do like.
You love it now? You love Citizen Toxie?
Love it.
Okay.
It's just really representative of the worst of Lloyd. But
I know I would hate it, but I still want to watch it just because it's got Sergeant Kabuki Man, and I love Sergeant Kabuki Man. But I know it's a choice that I will eventually regret when I make it.
So there's good stuff in there, and you're just trying to lean way too much into their own universe building. But there's some fun stuff. It's just Corey Feldman's in it.
Moving on.
Really selling it.
Up next, we have Nightmare Junkhead says, Dr. Mordred is a lot of fun and features Jeffrey Combs doing a little Doctor Strange via Full Moon Features.
That was on my long list for the episode, was that one, yeah.
And you can't go wrong with Wes Craven's Swamp Thing, as several sequences traumatize the hell out of young Greg.
Oh, yeah. The scene where Arcane transforms into that horrible fucking weasel monster or whatever the hell he's supposed to be at the end.
It's like a bullhead or
shit
something.
Out of me.
Yeah, no, not a bullhead. It was like a boarhead or something. I don't know. Yeah, I saw that in the theater, and I was terrified of that moment. And you watch the movie now, it's like, it's obviously like just a head mask put on top of a person, because The eyes don't move. The jaw doesn't move. It's pretty stilted.
Up next, attacker Jacob McLaughlin says, the first 2 Hellboy movies remain in my top 10 of the genre overall.
Mm-hmm.
The first movie was my introduction to Guillermo del Toro, so it holds a special meaning to me, as it should for that. The first 2 Blades are awesome. Aside from very dodgy CGI, the first film is one of the best origin movies. I love the Blade is already the Blade we know, and the Blood Rave is one of the coolest openings to any movie ever. Oh, so much blood. And I saw Constantine for the first time last year and loved it. It balances the horror and the noir elements so well. Plus, the cast is absolutely stacked.
I still have not seen that.
I enjoyed it. It's probably better now.
Yeah, I think enough time has passed so I can watch it with...
where you're prepared to know that it has fuck all to do with the comic book character.
That's kind of why I avoided it altogether. I mean, as much as I love Keanu Reeves, it's like he is
totally wrong for Constantine.
Totally wrong for Constantine. Absolutely, yes.
But I didn't know that at the time. Like, I'd never read anything of Constantine when the movie came out, so I saw it blind and was like, yeah, I really like this. But now, having read a bunch of the Alan Moore Swamp Thing and having seen some of Constantine, I was like, oh yeah, that's why people didn't like this movie.
Yep. So is that, and like also, correct me if I'm wrong because I haven't seen it, but screenshots and trailers and stuff, all the demons in the movie are like these gray humanoid.
Oh yeah, it's pretty bad CGI.
And I don't even care that it's bad CGI. I just think it's lazy and boring that all demons look exactly the same. That these gray creatures with the tops of their heads missing. I'm like, come on, let's get some more design work going in here with some other looking demons. I guarantee you that in hell they don't all look the same.
Guarantee you. Up next, we got this Terry Turford person.
Who?
She says, Darkman, hell yeah. Super, fuck yeah. Hellboy,
Yes.
oh yeah. And just to make Mike mad, I'll say Batman and Robin.
God damn it.
Hey, Mike.
What?
I kind of like that movie, too.
Oh, gosh, what is happening?
Damn it.
I only saw it for the first time a couple of years ago.
Oh, that helps.
And because I'd always avoided it because of the reputation. But man, it's just a 90-minute McDonald's Happy Meal commercial. It's fucking silly and fun.
If I want to watch a McDonald's commercial in a feature length, I'll watch Mac and Me. Thank you.
I can't understand how anyone could love the Adam West Batman but hate that. It's the same goddamn thing, just in a different decade.
Just glowier.
That's for another podcast. Moving on.
Up next, we got the Reebsta. Reebsta. Always loved Darkman. Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Aren't they redoing that? Did I see
I
that?
thought I heard something
They
about
are.
that.
Raimi's doing it. Well, he's
Oh.
not directing. He's producing
It's
with a new
through his
director.
Dark Pictures or whatever.
like
Dark
he did
House.
with Evil Dead.
Yeah.
He's getting like new young talent to do it.
Loved Darkman. He says, I also enjoyed all 3 live-action Hellboy movies, especially The Golden Army. And Ghost Rider will always have a special place in my heart. Oh, and Black Scorpion, just because.
That's a Corman production, right? Black Scorpion?
Oh, it's been so long since I've seen it. I honestly don't remember.
When
I first read that, it was like, you mean the Willis O'Brien movie? That's not a superhero. Oh, right. There's that other one.
Yep.
And then over in the Facebook group, we got attacker Hot Rod Hutchinson says, my favorite superhero who watches horror movies is Attacker Rod, who is still waiting for his championship belt for watching the most 2025 horror movies last year. Must be in the mail. Looks like he's going to retain the title for 2026 too, probably because he doesn't have a life.
Oh!
That's what his words, not mine.
He had that in there?
He had this, not me.
Okay.
God dang it, Rod, get me in trouble.
He's picking a fight with himself.
He is.
And losing.
He's still. All right. Hey, look at that. We got a voicemail. What's that?
Hey, Attacker Bill here, calling from the wild streets of Warrensburg, Missouri, outside of the old barber shop. I took a break just to call in and say I don't know what the hell to talk about. Obviously, when it comes to superhero horror, there's a lot of like superhero movies that have like mildly horrific tones in it. But for me, only 2 things pop into mind immediately for superhero horror. Number 1 would be Brightburn. I don't know why that movie was not the biggest movie in the world. I fucking adore that movie. It's terrifying, it's scary as hell, and it's probably way more likely to what would happen in the real world. The beginning to end, every step of that is perfect. I mean, the look on the dad's face when he shoots the kid and it doesn't do anything, to like when he turns and he looks at that airline come at the end. All of those things are absolutely perfect about that movie. I recommend that movie to everybody. And man, when it goes for the gore, my God, does it go for it. Also, and the only other thing I can think off the top of my head, Superman 3. Jesus, mother of love and humping butt pirates. That is some terrifying shit. When she gets pulled in that fucking computer and floss all over their face. Ugh. Still have bad memories of that. I saw that way too young. I mean, half the crew on the podcast saw that when they were like 38, but the rest of us were like really young when that came out.
Click.
So anyway, I guess I've switched from harassing the bubble boys to harassing the elderly. I got to stop doing that. Anyway, keep up the good work, guys. As always, the show keeps kicking ass, and I'll keep listening. All right. Have a good night. Bye.
Thank you, Bill. I got to start screening those voicemails. All right.
His sound quality has improved. Sorry.
Yes. Yeah, he's got a new microphone. It should be sounding good. And if you want to leave a voicemail, you're more than welcome to. It's pretty easy. I mean, Bill can do it. So all you have to do is give us a call on a phone, a cellular telephone at 415-952-6857. That's 415-95-AOTKP. Leave us a voicemail. We'll play it on the show, and that is shout-outs.
Mr. Good Taste never hangs around when he hears this cheesy sound. Here he comes to recommend a flick. That means it's Insane Mike with Insane's Picks.
This is a filmmaker I haven't talked about in a really, really, really long time. A lesser-known modern filmmaker who still today is making the best sci-fi horror 50s monster movies. I'm talking about Christopher M. Mihm and his film Terror from Beneath the Earth from 2009. Christopher R. Mihm is a writer, director, producer from Minnesota who specializes in making retro-style black and white 1950s creature features. His films take place in what he calls the Mimiverse. He started making films with his first feature, Monster of Phantom Lake, in 2006. The film was intended to be as kind of just a one-off, but it grew in a huge cult following, and Mihm started producing more films in this style, all loosely connected within his own same universe. Terror from Beneath the Earth is about two kids who get lost in these caves that were used for underground atomic testing. Their father, the local sheriff, a scientist named Dr. Edwards, and his assistant go searching for the lost children. However, due to all the radiation from the testing, there is a creature living deep in the caves that has undergone a radical and horrible transformation who has the children captive. The monster in question is an anthropomorphic 6-foot-tall mutant bat. The bat creature is adorable with its Muppet-like fur and huge doe-eyed egg carton eyes. The homemade monsters and do-it-yourself special effects are the highlight of Christopher's films. Mihm's films are a wonderful love letter to 50s monster flicks that aren't winking at the camera. It's obvious he loves those films and purely became a filmmaker in the wrong era. I have a small collection of his films on DVD, and I got those when I met Christopher at Crypticon, Kansas City years ago. But his films have played all over the place, so it may take a little bit of searching, but you should be able to find his movies, and I highly recommend you do. It's worth the effort of tracking them down. So check out Terror from Beneath the Earth from 2009.
I need to see a few more of his movies. I've seen, I think, one or two of them, but he's a semi-local boy, too. He's up in Minnesota, a couple hours away.
Yep, not too far from you. What ones have you seen?
Oh, God, I can't even remember that. There's like a giant, like a tarantula type of one.
Yeah, I think it's just called The Spider, if I remember right.
Okay, yeah. I couldn't. Well, I was going to say that, but then it's like, no, that's the Bird Eye Gordon movie. But anyway.
Yep. His stuff is great. I need to see some of his later films because some of those titles are really wacky, and I got to check them out. Anywho, that's a wrap for another action-packed episode of Attack of the Killer podcast. You can follow us all. You can follow us all over the internet. Check us out on X, TikTok, Threads, Facebook, Instagram. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, and join us on our Discord to continue the conversation. If you leave us a review on Apple Podcasts, that would be greatly appreciated, or wherever else you can leave reviews. Thanks for listening, and be sure to join us next time. Same Killer Podcast time, same Killer Podcast channel.
Oh no, could this be the end of? Wow.